I want to show you, I am getting ready to make blueberry jam. Look at those nice blueberries. These came from Thompson Falls here in Montana. My friend came over yesterday and brought me 2 gallons of beautiful blueberries. Look at those, yummy blueberries. So I'm making some jam, and I have my clean jars. I'm going to sterilize these. I have some organic sugar from Costco, lemon juice. You have to use the bottled lemon juice. You cannot use fresh. Don't use fresh, use bottled. And I have some lids and a box of sheer gel fruit pectin. So I'm going to get started with 4 cups of blueberries, and I'm going to put them in my pan. Here's my pan, and I'm going to put my 4 cups of blueberries, and I'm going to take a potato masher and sorry, that's so loud. And I'm going to mash them as they cook. And then right here I have my water bath ready. The old way you used to be able to do jam with the instructions was you didn't even need a water bath. You could turn them upside down. I don't feel comfortable with doing it. She still does some of hers like that because that's the old directions. But I always do a water bath just to make sure. I water bath them covered in water for 15 minutes. Okay, I have 7 jars in here because my canner will hold 7. So I'm going to start with 7. I don't know if it'll do 7. I can't remember. So I'm going to put about 1 inch of water, and then I will sterilize these jars. Okay, on medium heat, I'm just going to let this start heating up, and I'm just going to start mashing it. As they heat up, they'll start mashing better, and I will have them all mashed. And then I'm going to add in my pectin. Okay, so they're cooking, my blueberries are cooking a little bit more, and I switched my recipe at the last minute. I made these. I took the recipe out of this box, and I must have thrown it away the last time I was making jam. Somehow the oven got messed up. So the recipe wasn't in there, so I looked online, and I got a hold of the wrong recipe, and it called for lemon juice. This one does not call for lemon juice. Off Sheer Gel's website. It's 4 cups of the blueberries, cleaned, and 4 cups of the organic sugar, and a pack of the Sheer Gel. After these get mashed, I will add the Sheer Gel and maybe a little bit of margarine to prevent a lot of foam, and that's about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to add my pectin. I only have 1 hand. Normally I'd stir it as I was putting it in, so maybe no clumps, but I can't do that with 1 hand, so I'm just going to add it and let this cook. Okay, it says bring to a full boil, and then I'm going to add my sugar. Just put my margarine in, see it right there, about 1/2 teaspoon, so it doesn't get a lot of foam. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I feel like. Look at that nice blueberry jam. So it says it makes 6 jars. I'll have an extra one, we'll see. I'm going to let this come to a full boil, and then I'm going to add my 4 cups of organic sugar. You know, the pectin comes in a low sugar one too, and I've made that for years, and I made it with white grapefruit juice or apple juice, frozen concentrated, and it was very good. My family liked it, but today I'm doing the sugar one. So if you're trying to be a little bit, and it has a low sugar recipe too, so you could put not as much sugar. So whatever you prefer. I've done them all. We try to stay away from a lot of sugar. But this is the full recipe I want to show you. And it's not boiling yet. Okay, My blueberry jam is starting to boil. I'm going to add my 4 cups of organic sugar. You don't have to use organic sugar, that's just what I always use. And I'm going to let this come to a boil again, and I'm going to stir it and let it cook. I think the directions said 1 minute. I'll double check. So just get it stirred. Yes, 1 minute, stirring constantly. Look at that jam, yummy. Such a pretty color. I don't know if it turns out on the camera as pretty it is here. What it is, the sugar hasn't melted yet, so. And you have to follow the directions completely because your jam will not set up. I've had that happen and it turns into, it's still good, but it doesn't set up, so then you have syrup. Which I just use it as syrup, but if you're making jam, you want jam. So you have to do the directions just like it says, exactly. I've sometimes not cooked it for the full minute, and that's what happens when you don't do the full minute. And it's not boiling yet. And you can still see it's crystally, so the sugar hasn't melted. I don't know if you can see that. See those crystals? It's going to become nice and clear. So I'll let it come to a boil, stir it for a minute, and then I'll be back. Okay, I want to show you real quick. I have my jars that I have sterilized. Always sterilize them, make sure they're clean. And I have a funnel and a ladle, and I need a non-metallic. I use this to go around the edges. So I'm going to fill my jars up to about a 1/2 inch headspace. Leave a 1/2 inch. And it's kind of right to the bottom of my funnel. Go around the edge. Use something that you don't care about. These are just rags that I use over and over and over every year. So then I have a wet rag, and I'm going to clean the top. You want to make sure it's clean, and then put your hot lid on, and a ring. It's hot, very hot. Okay. Then I'm going to put it in my water bath. I'll do the next one. I'll continue doing this. I try not to touch anything. I used to not have very many tools, and I did all this with towels and forks, you know, just whatever I used. Pot holders. It was interesting. I'm so glad I spent the money and got the necessary tools to make it easier so I didn't get burnt. Clean your edge. And get a lid and a ring. And, ooh, finger tight. Don't do it real tight, but finger tight. And put it in your water bath. Continue doing each one of those, and I'll be back. I lowered my rack down in the water bath, and it's not boiling yet. I have it on high. I'm gonna wait for it to start boiling. I could put the lid on if I wanted, but this is fine. And then I will time it after it starts boiling for 15 minutes. And they will be done. Okay, my water began to boil. That's a good enough boil, 15 minutes. Time it for 15 minutes. Actually, it says 10, and then adjust for altitude. I live, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 feet. I think more 4,000, so I added 5 minutes. Okay, I will tell you, it's been 15 minutes, and I will just take my jam out of the water canner and let it cool right here overnight. And I will mark it, put the date, and mark it 2014 blueberry jam. Okay, I hope you enjoy that. Have a great day. Bye-bye.